All right, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, May 26, 2022. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, comment, come find me on carnivoretrades.com if you're interested in swing trading alerts and analysis. Just took another winner today, banked 9.5% on Square. That one getting a nice bid here. We took 10% on Roku yesterday, and I believe it was Monday or Tuesday. Took another 10% on Zoom. So taking some bottom fishing these tech names here has been really nice. And, you know, these stocks just get so oversold at some point. They're going to bounce 10, 15% in one day. And if you average in correctly, you can take advantage of that. But anyways, a nice gain there and a nice gain for the markets. So dealers gamma hedging to the upside. And what I like about today is we're finishing at the highs here. We had a little bit of a dip here around 315, 320, and it was like, oh no, here it comes again. They're gonna sell the rip, and they're gonna rain on everyone's parade. And now the dip's being bought. Take a look at the volume here on the spiders. Very light. So 60 million shares. This is about the lightest volume we've had in quite a while. So 60 million shares here traded. And I said yesterday in the live stream, actually one of the members brought this up. They asked about the volume trends, and I said, you know what, that's actually a really good point. Typically, the big guys, the big boys, they leave on Wednesday for Memorial Day weekend, or maybe, you know, Thursday morning. Maybe they're in the office in the morning, then they're out of here. They're not hanging around for Friday. They're off in the Hamptons playing golf by now, right? So you got the JV squad on, and they're basically just, you know, just don't crash the market. Just let it float higher, do whatever. And we have holiday volume in effect. And yesterday, you know, look, bottom line, we got follow through. So we got that close right on or above that trend line. We got a follow through today. We're going to close above the 20 period moving average, and we're going to negate 403.80. So we're negating this red bar here. That is huge. That is a huge win for the bulls. Your next test is right here at 408.57. The bears have to defend this tomorrow. If they don't, that slams the door shut, and we will go right up to 420, 425 on the spiders. Reason for that is that would be your first higher high since really going back to this trend here in March. So we had a high, lower high, slight lower high, and then another slight lower high right here. And then, you know, this could be your potentially your next higher high if we were to make it. I also showed this in the live stream last night, but if we load up the MACD, we don't show the MACD too often, but we got a bullish crossover yesterday for the first time. So this is the first crossover since April. So a couple of bullish indicators coming through the pipe here. And another one I mentioned yesterday is take a look at high yield debt here. HYG powering up again, another 1.3% to the upside. So that's kind of confirming this move. The only thing that really rains on the parade just a little bit is the VIX. So now the VIX is starting to dip down a little bit, but it was holding up all day. It's still holding 27. And on a, you know, on a day, let's see what the spiders are up, 2.3%. Triple Qs are up over 3%. On a day like that, you want to see the VIX get monkey hammered, and it's really not. I mean, it's still holding this green bar. It's still well above this pivot. If we break through that level, that 408.57 level on the spiders tomorrow, this will probably take the hammer. So maybe there's a little bit of retail put buying. You can see the UVXY is up a little bit. It's actually performing a little bit better than the actual VIX, and that tells me that retail is buying puts here. And, you know, what we were just saying about the volume, you never want to short a dull market. Look at this. We're just squeezing up here. So shorts are kind of covering up a little bit. We'll see if we get some, it's 3:50 p.m. We'll see if we get some profit taking into the close, but a nice little squeeze here for the market. And it's nice to finally see some follow through in this market for a change. So we talked about that wedge there on the spiders. Let's look at the triple Qs. So triple Q is obviously underperforming. Not today so much, they're outperforming, but just peaking above this wedge and not above that 20 period moving average yet, or that red bar high. So that'll be the test tomorrow. IWM, however, this is big. We made a higher high here on the IWM daily. So that is a really good sign for the market overall. That is generally a leading indicator, and we've been talking about that a lot on the channel lately. You know, you see the IWM not taking out the lows, and I see it making higher lows. That's, you know, that sends, you know, sets my antenna off, and it tells me that we're probably getting close to some type of a pivot low in the market. Dow via the diamond here also making a slight higher high, so that is a little bit of a positive as well. Moving on to the semis here. So again, higher lows here on the semis, unlike the spiders or the triple Qs, and it is above the 20 period moving average. It hasn't taken out these pivots yet, but it has a chance to do that tomorrow. And if we flip, let's put these trend lines back on. So yeah, this is the trend line here we're looking at on the semis. That is starting to break today. So again, if we get confirmation tomorrow of upside, maybe you can have upside to that 50 moving average in the near term. That is going to be a huge lift for the market. Nvidia yesterday, we talked about earnings in the stream, and I said yesterday, I was like, look, this is actually, it settled around 158 after hours yesterday. I said, that's really a win for the market, right? The market just didn't want it to pull a Netflix or a Facebook or a Snapchat. And yeah, they guided lower, but Nvidia reports, a couple weeks after the main big tech companies, and all those tech companies guided lower. So with Nvidia getting smashed over the last 2 months, and all the big tech companies already guiding lower, the market already expected them to guide lower. So it really wasn't a sell the news event. It was a sell the rumor, buy the news event. And that's what we're getting on Nvidia. I got upside to this to probably about 220 here. If that low holds, which it does look like it wants to, looking like we're going to get above that 20 period moving average. So nice little reversal there for Nvidia. That's helping out AMD as well. AMD having a big day, up 6.5%. So nice move for semiconductors across the board. Cloud software here via IGV, contending with that 20 period moving average. So we talked about this kind of ABC up pattern. I do have this getting up to 291 in the near term. There is a gap here, so maybe that slows it down as well, but 291 is going to be pretty decent resistance here on IGV, but a nice move there for cloud stocks. And really all these beaten down growth stocks are also, getting a bit. Look at the XBI here. XBI a little bit unmuted, actually, just up only 1.5%. So biotech's just been a weak sector, just can't get out of its own way, but still getting a little bit of a bid here. All right, transports continuing to bounce, so a nice move. Got some follow through to yesterday, and it got through this critical level here, that 14.1 area. So it looks like it wants to go contest that 20 period moving average, and that should coincide with these pivot lows right there. And there's a lot of resistance in that red bar, so it's got some work to do, but a nice pop there for DJT. Rates here kind of just a bit of a flattish day, just 25 basis points up. And again, I talked about the 50 moving average is probably going to get some type of a bounce here, but it's not really getting that good of a bounce. So if it starts to flag up, it's telling you it wants to go lower. Again, you guys know I'm looking for about 2.5 there on the 10-year treasury yield. Home builders also getting a nice bid. XHB up nicely here, 4%, so big move there. ITB getting above that 50 moving average. We'll see if this can go up to this red bar high. I don't think it can get that much farther through that, but a nice pop nonetheless. And VNQ as well, also getting above that 20 moving average, but again, it's going to have a lot of resistance at this gap window, the gap around $100, but a nice move nonetheless. Financials, XLF here, nice reflex bounce. Again, you're going to have resistance at this red bar and this former trend line here. That goes back to last year. So right in here, pivot, pivot, pivot. So that's a good area. That should be resistance on the way up. Doesn't mean it can't get through it if we continue to rally, but it might have to flag up a little bit before it can do that. Let's look at the broker dealers. XBD, nice breakout there. So we talked about this. I said, look, this pattern, it's struggling a little bit, but it's still got a nice little ABC potential up move in it. So again, nice pop. You're going to have resistance at this pivot low, which would coincide with this red bar here. So there's your areas there on the upside for XBD, but a nice pop there overall. Crude here, nice move. So I was saying, there we go. There's the crude chart. So I was saying, I was starting to like the chart. It was starting to hold up a little bit better. We filled that gap. So now we filled that gap finally. We'll see if it can follow through tomorrow. If it can take this pivot out, you negate those lower highs. But if it gets rejected, then it opens the door for possibly a move down here. But it's, got to get through this low before it does that. But either way, nice little pop there for crude and XLE, making new, if we can pull up XLE, there we go, making new 52-week highs as well. So a nice move for energy. XOP also at a 52-week high, as was the OIH, although this is getting into some resistance up here. The nat gas basically contending with the, did make a higher high, but now reversing lower. Again, we'll have to see what it does. If it follows through to the downside and continues lower, you guys know I'm looking for about $7 there. If it can get down there, I think that would be a good buy area for an aggressive, quick, long trade. Dollar index, so we talked about kind of like yields, does it start to bear flag here? If it does that, it can make this 50 moving average minor and make a move lower. So nice little action there on the dollar. We'll see if it continues to flag up, and that should help gold, which is still backing and filling. But I like, you know, just like yesterday, right, we had kind of this test candle, had another one today, and it's, you know, finishing basically green. So if it starts to flag up, that can give us a move up into that 1900 handle. So nice little action there on gold. I definitely don't dislike what I'm seeing there on spot gold. Same thing with silver. So if this can continue to flag, again, 23 bucks is going to be pretty good resistance on the upside if it can move up there. Platinum also kind of flagging up here, and palladium, same kind of deal. Just trying to flag up here inside of this green bar. Nothing too significant going on in those at the moment. Copper here, nice little pullback. So again, flagging up as well. You guys know 445 or so would be good resistance on the upside if it can make a move up there. All right, so we talked about Bitcoin yesterday, and you know, maybe this correlation is breaking down. So typically we have like this, you know, Bitcoin has been kind of a leading indicator for the market. We did have a dip down here. So it tried to play out this inside bar and it failed. So that is a good sign. Doesn't mean it can't still play out, but it did get defended down here. But it's not really kind of leading. So the market was up nicely today and Bitcoin was basically lower and then recovered to the flat line. So that correlation may be starting to break down. Ether was a little bit on the weaker side. You know, this inside bar started to play out a little bit and it got defended at this tail low. I said, again, you know, there's going to be a lot of demand down here. There's too much demand at the current time, but Ether is on the weaker side compared to Bitcoin, as are some of the other altcoins. So we'll see what we get here. You know, maybe they can reverse it and move higher. But overall, I'm not really liking what I'm seeing in the crypto market at the moment, unless, you know, maybe this was a bit of a stop hunt. That's possible. You know, again, I said that often when you get these tail candles like that, sometimes you get a retrace and then they bid it back up. So we'll see what we get moving forward. But overall, you really need to see Bitcoin get above these, you know, these red pivots here at, you know, about 31,696. That's going to be the major area for Bitcoin to really hurdle. Anyways, market's closing here in about 2 minutes. So spiders, yeah, having a little bit of trouble with that 406 area. They did have a lot of calls that were sold at 405, so they probably were trying to burn them out. And again, like I said, we'll see if we get some profit taking here in the last 10 minutes. That looks like that is happening here. Day traders covering out longs, etc. But I think we got some good upside here overall. Tesla here, I tweeted this out yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if this closes at 750 by Friday. You had a $36 expected move on Tesla by the close yesterday, and we well exceeded that. So that helped in the basically dealers gamma hedging to the upside. So this gets, you know, continued upside tomorrow. This will force more gamma squeezing. And another thing, we have the end of the month next Tuesday, I believe. And this green bar low here on the monthly needs to get defended on Tesla. Otherwise, this will be a $500 stock before you know it. So just a little thing to be aware of there. So we'll see if the bulls come in and defend it. Again, if we start to squeeze up here in the broad markets, I would assume Tesla would get a nice bid as well, as that is being heavily shorted, just like a lot of other things are at the moment. All right, anyways, markets wrapping up here, about to close. So nice update, bottom line. We got follow through finally. Would like to see some follow through tomorrow. Again, the level to watch, 408. 57, yes, 408.57. That's the level to watch on the daily time frame on the spiders for tomorrow's close. Anyways, guys, take care. Thanks for watching. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.